Good evening. I'd like to call to order the October 16th, 2024 meeting of the Colerain Enforcement Review Board. Welcome to all in attendance and those township staff, my fellow commissioners, and our residents. Just a friendly reminder, please put your phones on silent, all electronic devices. Could we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. A short description of our meeting. The Code Enforcement Review Board was established to provide an impartial and fair platform for reviewing disputes related to vacant properties and rental registration within Colerain Township. Our advisory board, our advisory committee to the Colerain Township Board of Trustees. Primary objective is to hear, consider testimony and evidence presented by property owners, residents, and interpret the township's resolution related to vacant buildings and rental registration, and issue recommendations regarding these issues to the Board of Trustees. This process ensures property owners and residents have an opportunity to address any concerns and resolve any disputes regarding vacant properties and rental registration in a transparent and respectful manner. Could we have a roll call, please?
Ms. Baldwin?
Yes.
Mr. Henson?
Here.
Mr. Schaefer? Ms. Westfall?
Here. The next item on our agenda is the presentation of our minutes from this September 18th. Do we have any comments? Hearing none, could we have a roll call, please?
Ms. Baldwin?
Yes.
Mr. Henson? Mr. Schaefer? Ms. Westfall?
Yes. Okay, now we're to the public address portion. This is a time for citizens to address our board with any concerns not listed on tonight's agenda. If there are any here to speak about properties on the agenda tonight, your comments will be heard during the public hearing for that property. Is there anyone that would like to speak with anything in general? Okay. Thank you. Our first.
Ms. Westfall?
Yes.
Was there a motion to approve the minutes?
No. Let's try that again. Could I have a motion to approve the minutes, please?
I so move.
I second.
Ms. Baldwin?
Yes.
Mr. Henson?
Yes.
Ms. Westfall?
Yes. Thank you. Okay.
A motion that we close the public address.
Yep.
Were you making that motion? Sorry.
Yes.
I second that.
Okay.
Ms. Baldwin?
Yes.
Mr. Henson?
Yes.
Ms. Westfall?
Yes. Okay, old business for vacant properties. The first one on the list is CERB 2416. That's 7068 Memory Lane.
Yeah, so curb case 24-16, 7068 Memory Lane. This is one we heard a couple months ago, was scheduled to be on the agenda last month, and the owner did not show up. We extended it to this month in an effort to try and make contact with the owner. We did send out a letter, and that is all the contact information we have. I have not heard from him since he was here at the initial meeting. If you look at the current pictures, there has been some progress made to the property. I haven't seen a whole lot of progress recently. They could be working more on the inside. The truck that is in the driveway has been there really since they started working on the property. But this week I have been by there twice and have not seen any activity.
Well, it looks like they've painted the building.
I believe it's still just a brick. It could be a different lighting.
Oh, okay.
Comments?
Sorry, I know it's in here. How long have we been looking at this one?
Since 21.
This one, our case started on April 16th,
Okay.
was
sorry,
when we
the
sent out the
double-sided-
initial letter.
Okay, the double-sided papers were throwing me off looking for it. My comment was that we've given them several chances, so if they're not here.
This is the first time we've addressed this. Do we have a motion?
I move that we take the staff's recommendation to declare the property vacant.
I second.
Ms. Baldwin,
Yes.
Mr. Henson,
Yes.
Ms. Westfall.
Yes. Our next case is CERB 24-21 for 3633 Blue Rock Road.
This property, again, 3633 Blue Rock, we do believe it is vacant. We are having a little bit of communication with the property owner. He is out of town and informed me that he would not be able to be here tonight, and he asked that we try and reschedule if at all possible.
Sorry. We've also added email correspondence with the owner. He is less than pleased, but you can see the packet to see his responses.
Yep. Did he give us any commitment that he would come to the November meeting?
No. He just said that he wouldn't be able to be at this one.
Make tonight's. Okay. Any comments?
Is this the first time we've had any communication with the owner?
We've had, a little bit of email communication. He disagrees that the property qualifies as being vacant.
He deems that the cell phone tower on the property deems that as it should be
Occupied.
null and void from the actual having a business, a vacant business on the property. So that's where the conversation needs to start when he does come in.
Our difference of opinion.
Yes.
Currently, does our code allow for a cell phone tower being an exception to the vacancy rule?
The
Not-
zoning allows the cell phone tower to be on that property. The decision will be whether or not that cell phone tower essentially qualifies the property as occupied when the only structure there is a restaurant.
The other ice cream stores, when they're closed during the winter, do we deem those as being vacant when they're not closed, or they're closed seasonally?
This is the first ice cream store that's come up. However, it was not open for business this summer or I believe last summer.
Yeah, he's-
Okay, it just was a general question, because yeah, just
Yeah.
occurred
But
to
no,
me.
we haven't had that situation
Okay,
yet.
right, but he has not been in operation for at least 2 years.
At least.
Yeah.
I used to stop there all the time. I'm sorry it's closed. I'll make a motion that we extend 1 month on his appearance.
I will second that motion.
Ms. Baldwin,
Yes.
Mr. Henson,
Yes.
Ms. Westfall.
Yes. The next case on our docket is CERB 24-22. That's for 2563 Niagara Street.
$2563 Niagara. This one was first brought before the board, I believe, at last month's meeting. At the time, we believed that both property owners were deceased. Over the course of the last month, we have done everything we can to confirm that. We can confirm that the male owner is deceased. We cannot confirm that the female, I believe her name's Patty, we can't find any records of that. We did find, one obituary, but no supporting death certificate. We have tried to locate her. We came up with a couple possible telephone numbers. Those were a dead end, and we have not been able to essentially find her anywhere.
Or any relatives that are helping take care of their business.
Correct. We can't find really much of anything.
Okay.
I have been to the property a couple times today. The meter on the electric is still not there. It did look like maybe the neighbor trimmed some of the overgrown shrubs along, their fence line. But other than that, the property looks just as, it did when we first discovered it.
Okay. Any discussion?
It seems to me they've made every attempt they can to get a hold of somebody, so.
So what happens now if we send this to the Board of Trustees and they say, it's vacant? Does,
So if they accept your recommendation that it is vacant and qualifying of registration, then what happens is, we will continue to monitor the property, but there will be, the registration fee will be assessed to the property taxes.
okay. Okay. Anything else?
No, you're not here to talk about this property, are you? Okay, thank you.
Okay,
I'll take a motion.
I move to accept the staff recommendation on this property.
second,
Ms. Baldwin,
Yes.
Mr. Henson,
yes.
Ms. Westfall.
Yes. Now we move to the new business portion. Our next case is CERB 24-23. That's for 2638 Cranbrook.
So this property, 2638 Cranbrook, I have had some email communication with the gentleman that owns it. I believe his name, Mr. Riviera. He's remodeling the property. He has been for quite a few months at least. He said that it most likely will end up being rented out to his daughter. I can't confirm that obviously at this point. He expected that it was going to be done by now, and I don't know that the interior is remotely close to being able to be occupied. You can reference OpenGov case number VCNT 24-36. Our first letter was sent May 28th of this year. Second letter was sent June 27th, and the final letter was sent 9/26, given today's date. And I have had a phone call with him and a little bit on email, but I don't think was able to, his plans were to be here, but I guess he's a pilot, so his schedule has been, hit or miss.
Okay.
And so, but they have been over the process from our first letter to now, they have been doing work. If you drive by during the day, not every day, but there have been plenty of days where somebody has been there doing interior work to the property. They have been maintaining, the exterior pretty reasonable. I mean, they're maintaining the yard. Every now and then you'll see some construction materials on the front porch of the driveway, but they typically get cleaned up. They have been storing a trailer in the driveway, which is acceptable throughout the time they've been doing the remodel. He has not given a timeline on when he expects it to be complete.
I think you read my mind there. I was gonna ask, I didn't see it in here, but I was gonna ask if we had a timeline on when he thought it was gonna be complete. 'Cause the email I see in here indicated that they'd be moving in soon, and that was middle of September.
Yeah.
And it's,
So did he register the property?
No.
That's why it was,
So that's the issue we've got before us. Okay.
right.
it's great he's doing work to it, but if it's still vacant, then it should be registered as such, in my opinion. He's been given time to remodel.
Would you think it'd be worthwhile to extend him till November to see if he appears?
That's the board's decision. I mean, my opinion is the property is vacant, that, nobody is currently occupying it.
Okay,
Yeah, it's been 5 months since we sent the initial letter,
yeah, that's true.
you know.
Okay.
I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we move forward on staff recommendation.
I'll second that motion.
Ms. Baldwin,
Yes.
Mr. Henson,
Yes.
Ms. Westfall.
Yes. Our next case is CERB 24-24. That's for 2594 Retford Drive.
2594 Retford Drive. This property, you can reference OpenGov case VCNT 24-32. Our initial letter was sent May 15th of this year. Second letter was sent on June 17th. The final letter was sent on September 26th, given today's date of this meeting to appear. During this process, the owner did, essentially, they reported it as vacant with another, they tried to register it improperly, and since then they have, it stated that they were waiting on a sale. The property is not sold. I can't find it listed for sale online. No changes have been seen at the property. Somebody kind of weirdly cut an X in the front yard. There's a picture of that in your packet.
I saw that.
But even with him reporting it, all I really got was, an email, and I, replied on OpenGov saying that they registered him properly and provided the link, and I've had no further communication with them. I believe all the mail that we've sent to the addresses provided on the auditor's website has been returned.
Doesn't look like much has changed, judging from the pictures.
No.
Is there anyone here to speak on this property? Okay. Again, the first letter was sent 5 months ago. I would entertain a motion.
I move that we accept the staff recommendation on this.
I second that emotion.
Ms. Baldwin,
Yes.
Mr. Henson,
Yes.
Ms. Westfall.
Yes. Our next case is Cerb 2425. That's for 2909 Greenbrook Lane.
So this property's been, 2509 Greenbrook Lane's been vacant quite a while. It did go through a couple ownership changes in the last probably 6 months. So I did restart this with the new owner. But the owner of record is Andrew Germaco. You can reference open case number VCNT 24-38. We sent our first letter on July 10th, the second letter on August 26th, and the final letter was sent on September 26th, given today's date for the meeting. We have, I believe, had some mail be returned. Somebody, not the owner of record, did apply for a zoning certificate to replace the rear deck, but it's a different name than what's provided on the auditor.
Do we know if it's a contractor?
I don't.
Okay.
I've left that person two voicemails
Okay,
and have not received a response.
okay.
Throughout the couple ownership changes, there has been some progress made. Initially, when I first went there, you couldn't see the house. There was so much overgrown vegetation. But yeah, I've had no communication with the owner. We have sent notices. It's consistently has tall grass and has currently been sitting in the condition that you see in the photos for quite a while.
Anybody to speak?
It looks like at some point that, before we started the first pictures, they got new windows and started to think about putting on siding, maybe.
Yeah, I know that the house was filled with like
Refuge.
personal belongings from the prior owner, and was extremely overgrown. So it's kind of hard to believe looking at the picture, but there has been some progress made on that house over the last 6 months.
Okay.
But it doesn't seem like there's been any current progress. I mean, the house is in, very poor condition.
Well, it looks like that from the old pictures, at the front door, the window on the right, upper right window was broken out. The rest were fine. But now in this current photo today, the lower left window's broken out and the other one's been fixed.
Yeah.
So,
And I mean, somebody's pulled our, violation stickers off, but, they haven't taken care of anything.
So we know there's been activity. They're just not responding to us.
Correct. And they did apply for a zoning, or somebody applied for a zoning certificate for the deck.
Okay.
did we cut the grass or did they cut the grass? Okay. Sounds like they're trying to ignore the situation. So,
Starting to, but I mean, in the end, they've got to communicate with us to get registered or with them, not us, but to get registered, and they haven't done that in 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
It could be to where there is two parties. There's a party that owns it and then a party that's restoring it, and they're just not communicating. We don't know because we can't get communication from them. But it could be just a simple explanation like that. But again, there's a lot of history at this house. It's been vacant for close to 4 to 5 years. It was a heavy hoarding house.
okay. Okay. There's nobody to speak for? No. Okay. I'll make a recommendation that we go with, or I'll make a motion to go with staff's recommendation and declare it vacant.
And I will second that motion.
Miss Baldwin,
Yes.
Mr. Henson,
Yes.
Miss Westfall.
Yes. Our next case is Cerb 2426 for 2702 Hyannis.
Yeah, so on this property, the parcel ID is correct. Different, Cages had it as Hyannis. I think the auditor might have had it as Pippin or vice versa.
But it's there at the corner.
It is there at the corner, and the parcel ID is true, but different systems had a different street name attached. The owner of record was Tiffany and Gregory Spencer. You can reference OpenGov case number VCNT 24-45. There was a letter sent. The initial letter was sent June 21st. The second letter was sent August 22nd. The final letter was sent September 26th, given today's date. All mail was sent to both the owner and the tax address as reflected on the auditor. We have had several reports of this property being vacant. The business doesn't appear to be open. When you look it up on Google, it says permanently closed. The property still shows use as a restaurant cafe. We did give a NOV for tall grass this year, and it was corrected and has been fairly reasonably maintained since. There was an email or a letter from the owner saying that they do use it as an office space. I've been driving by this property for months. I've never, seen any vehicles or anything there. There was a car there today. I did try and stop. I don't know if it was, you guys or somebody just parking there, but they did drive away after I pulled in. So you can see copies of the letters. I do have the letter that the owner sent on July 11th in your packet.
Page 85.
Yeah.
But it is our belief that the property is, vacant and not being used.
Since it's the last property, I'm thinking it's yours. If you'll come to the podium and give your name and address, please.
And, yeah, I need to swear at y'all. Are you going to speak too, sir? Okay, all right. Ma'am, if you could just raise your hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're going to give here today is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
My name is Tiffany Spencer, and I own the property at 2702 Hyannis Drive. Okay, so I did send the letter July 11th. I didn't get a response. I thought it was taken care of. They got the letter. Because I stated if you had any other questions or if I need to do anything, please let me know. I didn't hear anything back, so I assumed it was taken care of. I'm using the property as an office. I own 2 other businesses that are within walking distance, and both the other businesses that I own have small office space. So if I'm there and I need to focus on marketing or accounting, I'm doing it as customers are in and out. So I go over there to use it as an office space to focus on things and get away. And we also use that space for storage for things that I've been selling online. We also have plans to get with zoning. My husband and I have been talking, trying to see if we wanted to use it for retail space, open a retail store there. So we did have plans to talk to zoning to see what would be necessary to get it rezoned if we needed to. So I sent the letter, thought it was taken care of. Once I got the second letter, I made a couple phone calls, 2 or 3, to the phone number on the letter, Nick Hopewell, I believe, but I didn't get any response back. Again, I was waiting. I even forwarded the email a second time. I didn't hear anything back, so I was just waiting. Not sure if he was just too busy, because it said he worked part-time. Not sure if he was too busy or if he just filed it away as done. And then the third notice I got was to come here, so that's why I'm here.
Okay.
We're not using it as a restaurant anymore. We closed the restaurant after COVID. Things went way downhill. And so like I said, we were just using it for whatever we needed it, office space for marketing and accounting, and using it to store stuff that I was selling online from my mother's estate. She passed away and I had a bunch of items, so I was using that for that and didn't think it was, you know, an issue. Like I say, I do park over there sometime, but it's in walking distance from my other two businesses that are just on the other side of Dollar General, so I just usually walk over to get my steps in. And I was over there today, but I was driving a truck, a white truck, so not a car. I
No,
don't
it
know if
was
you saw
like
somebody else.
it was like a silver Chrysler, like 300 or something. It was not a truck that
That
was there
wasn't
when I
me.
was there.
It might have been somebody looking for me, but it was, yeah, that wasn't me.
I just want to add in, and for you, right now through zoning, the use is as a restaurant. I do believe for the way that is zoned, storage would not be an accepted use. Retail would be, but if it's being used as anything other than a restaurant, there would be a change of use that would be needed through the zoning department.
Okay,
And they would be the ones that would help you out with that.
okay. But it's no issue with me using it as office space. I'm using the same office that we had when it was a restaurant.
Yeah, being used as an office space would require a change of use.
I just didn't think so, because I'm using the same office again, because we had an office there when it was a restaurant. I
Yeah.
was just using that, okay.
Yeah, but if its primary use
I'm
is
not
as
having
an
people like
office
coming in and
now,
out type
I think it
office.
would need that change of use through the zoning department.
Okay,
But they would be the ones that would better help you with that.
okay. And I did get we did have 1 week this year where it rained all week, and I think that following Monday or Tuesday, somebody must have called, because that was the first notice I ever got for tall grass, and we took care of it, because we usually keep it cut.
Real quick, ma'am, just to give you a heads up, other than the reason that we do the registration, we do that so you can register it as vacant, use it the way you need to do it. Basically, you pay the $500 and we don't have to give you a notice of violation for the zoning misuse. That's the last thing we want to do is take you down to court. So that's what kind of where our mindset was with doing the vacancy.
But would it be advisable for her to still talk to the zoning department just to make sure everything's, so she doesn't have any other issues, and she knows exactly what she needs to do
That's fine.
moving forward?
Yeah, no, I completely, it would be a non-conforming use or a change of use variance that she would need. So I'm completely fine with extending it out and letting her reach out to them,
Okay.
correct? You guys? And if before you leave, we can get your updated information and we can have them reach out to you if you'd like.
Okay, that would be great.
Okay.
Do
Thank
have
you
any
for
other
coming.
questions?
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
I make a motion, we move this to next month and just verify that the proper steps have been taken at that time.
I'll second.
Miss Baldwin,
Yes.
Mr. Henson,
Yes.
Miss Westfall.
Yes. Okay. We have no new business for rentals or old business for rentals. Do what? No, ma'am. Okay. Do we have any updates on past cases?
Not at this time.
Okay. Our future meeting for November and December are on Thursday evenings. For November, it will be November 21st. I want to thank everyone for coming, and all in favor to adjourn? Aye.
Aye.
We're closed.